not support the motion. I'll support option 2 for a number of reasons. First of all, I don't think it's financially responsible from both capital point of view and from an operational point of view to increase our costs. When we talk about multi-purpose room, we're going to have a community room at the new Benson Center end. And when I talked about card games being conducted at this new facility, walking, jogging, etc., we're going to have all those facilities. And even part of the recommendation here is to talk about taking out the servery, which all the card groups that I know of require. They want that. They insist on that. And it's going to be at the new facility. First, I do not believe that we are responsible for a few little, to serve a few people in our community when we have something that's going to serve the majority at the existing facility, or the facility that we're going to be opening up very shortly. Talking about gym space, my understanding is GB, which is a gym that is, GB is going to be shut down, that gymnasium is going to be available to whoever is going to bid for it. And I suggested earlier that we investigate this and see if we can get a hold of that gymnasium and lease it from the school board, or maybe we can even have an arrangement with them to, hey, it's only 2 minutes.
We're out of gymnasiums. We're into.
Well, I know that. There were comments about gymnasium space. There is gymnasium space.
Got my attention.
I don't talk long very often. But personally, I reviewed this. I agreed to look at, see what was available for senior funding. We don't even know for sure if that's nevertheless, I don't think it's a responsible decision to go with option 1, and I stand by option 2. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rivette, followed by Councilor Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will not support the option 1. I will support option 2. Dead is dead. This thing was killed twice already. I mean, how many times are going to bring it back up again? I'm not sure whether, I know that the clerk, and I respect her decision, and I read the paper the following day where somebody wanted to look at, another municipality wanted to look at opening up another thing that was just passed by the former council, and they were saying, no, you need 2/3 to do that. So I'm not sure who's right, but I will take our clerk's interpretation of it. You're right, okay. But I think it's
Vote of confidence.
there we go. I think it's important that we understand. Listen, the city taxpayers can continue putting out dollars like this. It's impossible. You have to stop the bleeding. And I think that we've all said at the election time that we're going to be fiscally responsible and we're going to make sure that we try to cut back any increase in taxes. Well, here's a perfect way of doing it. I think what the problem with the Benson Centre is, we haven't really visited it to find out what the hell we have there. I think it's important. This thing has got more than I think that some of the councillors around the table realize. The space is going to be there. I hear about a couple offices is going to be doubled, but I think that there we'll deal with that when we get to it, because I think some of these people are going to be shocked that you don't need 2 offices and 2 buildings. So I think there's locations there to be able to handle all this, and I will vote down. Thank you.
Murphy.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I will be voting for option 2, and for the simple reason, to reiterate, and no lack of respect for previous council, but this was dealt with by them, in my view. To bring this up again, I'm not a big fan of that, because then you're opening Pandora's box to everything the previous council said nay to at some point. It's a very dangerous road. And when it comes to some of my colleagues around the table have mentioned arts and crafts and the seniors events and the toddler events. And if I can reiterate what Councillors Grant and Rivette said about the Benson Centre, there is a multi-purpose room there for all intents and purposes, and that's what it's called. And there will be other facilities there. There's what we call a convenience room. You can have such events in, when it is obviously not in use for the people that are renting the facility, but it is there, it is available, and there are other opportunities within the community we talked about, and I realize it's not about a gymnasium, potential school closures down the road where we could work in partnership with the school board for their facilities for whatever reason, and I'm sure that would not be nearly as expensive as this project would be. And you're right. I can recall each one of us around this table saying we're going to be fiscally responsible, and I think it's not fiscally responsible to follow this project, especially in light of its being defeated before.